Hello everyone, welcome to the lecture series on DBMS. Today we are going to discuss about the minimal cover or the canonical cover of the functional dependencies. Now to understand this topic, you need to have a basic understanding of the closure set of attributes and the Armstrong exams, which we have already covered in this lecture series. So if you are straight away looking at this video, I recommend to have a look at those videos first and then come over here. I'll put the link of those videos in the description box. Now, we have this relational model, and for this set of functional dependencies we have to find out the minimal cover. Minimal cover, that means what? That we have to reduce these functional dependencies by eliminating the redundancy in these functional dependencies. And now when we say redundancy, that means when we have a functional dependency from alpha to beta. Now this alpha and beta can be the set of attributes. Then there can be either the redundancy on left hand side, or it can be there on the right hand side, or this might be the case that the entire functional dependency is redundant, right? So when we have to find out the minimal cover of these set of functional dependencies, we have to eliminate all these three possible cases of redundancy, right? So let's see how we can do that with this example. So the first task that we have to do over here is that we have to apply the decomposition rule over these sets of functional dependencies that we studied in Armstrong exams. So the first thing is that we have x to w. Then we apply decomposition over here, that is wz to x, and we have wz to y. Now we already know that we apply decomposition only on the right hand side. We cannot write w to xy or z to xy. This is not possible at all. We have already discussed this in detail while we were discussing the Armstrong exams. This and this is not the same thing, right? So now next is we have y to w, and then we have y to x, then we have y to z. Now by applying the decomposition, we can see that on right hand side we have only come up with only single attribute, and that will make our further task easy. Now what do we have to do when we find out the redundancy? So that basically means when we say that some functional dependency is redundant, that means what? If that functional dependency is in the system or is not in the system, that is not going to make any difference. Then that means that functional dependency is redundant, right? So basically in this set of functional dependency, if this functional dependency is there or it is not there, that will not make any difference to the system, right? So how do we find that out? We first do what? For this functional dependency, we find out the closure of x, right? And we already know how to find the closure set of an attribute. So now we have x, and from x we can have w. Then anything else can we have? No. So this is the closure. Now let's try to find out. Now we have to find out that if we keep this functional dependency or if we do not keep this functional dependency, is it going to make any difference for the system or not? So now once we have found out the closure of x by keeping this functional dependency, and now we will ignore this functional dependency, and now we will try to find out the closure of x. So what do we get? We get x, and do we get anything else? No. So now we can see that if this functional dependency is in the system, for x closure, x could find out x and w. But if we do not keep this functional dependency in the system, in that case our x could only find x and it could not find out the value of w. So that means this has to be there. If this functional dependency will not be there, we will lose the value of w. So we cannot reduce that. Next attribute that we have is wz. Now let's find out the closure for that. Now first we'll find out the closure by keeping the functional dependency. So what do we get? For wz, the first attributes that we get are w, z, then we can get x, then we can get y. Is there anything else? For y we get w, x and z. We already have that. Now what do we have to do? Again we have to find out the closure of wz, but this time we will not consider this functional dependency. Let's try to find it out. So what do we get? We get wz. Then what do we get from this functional dependency? We get y. So now we'll write y over here. Anything else? With y we get w, that we already have, z we already have, x we will have to consider. Now over here we can see that if we keep this functional dependency and if we do not keep this functional dependency, in both the cases we could find all these attributes. That means even if we remove this functional dependency, basically this functional dependency is redundant. So even if we remove this functional dependency, it is not going to make any difference. Anyways, our wz will find all the attributes, right? Next, we have to find it out for this functional dependency. So let's find out the closure again, and this time we have to eliminate, we have to not consider this functional dependency. One more thing that we have to consider, that we have to keep in mind over here is, when we remove any functional dependency, we remove it immediately. That means for our further processing, we are not going to consider this functional dependency now, right? So when we remove it, now we are going to consider only this functional dependency and these three functional dependencies. Which is removed is removed, and which we are not considering, that also we will not consider. Now for wz, what do we get? We get wz, and what else? Do we get anything else? No. So when we eliminate this functional dependency, we get only wz. However, over here we could get x and y as well. So we cannot remove this functional dependency, right? This one we will have to keep, because if we remove that, then we will lose the value of x and y. Next is y to w. So now again we'll find out the closure of y. So to find the closure of y, what do we get? yw, then we get x, then we get z, and for wz, again we already have y. Now let's find out y closure by not considering this functional dependency. So what do we get? We get y, then we get x, and we get z. So, and that is it. Anything else we do not get. So now with x also, we can see over here, with x we get w, right? And now we can see that we have all the attributes that we could find over here. We can also find by not considering this functional dependency. So again, this functional dependency is redundant, because even if we do not consider it, then also we can find out all the attributes with y, right? So next, again we'll find it out for the next functional dependency. So now we do not have to consider this, and again these two functional dependencies we have removed, so we will not consider this as well for further processing. So if we do not consider this, what do we get? On y we get z. So on y we get z, and do we get anything else? For y we get z. We have wz over here, so we do not have w, we cannot, and we have xw, we do not have x. So now that is it. So we can see over here that for y closure over here, if we do not consider this functional dependency, we lose the value of w and x. So we will have to keep this functional dependency, because if we remove it, we won't have the value of w and x. It can only find y and z, right? So now again let's try it for this functional dependency now. So if we do not consider it, what do we get? From y we get x. So from y we get x, and from x we get w, from x we get w, and now for z, now one thing is left. After that, if we are not considering it, y we get x, for x we get w, but we did not get z, right? So over here we did not get z. That means this functional dependency as well we will have to keep. Now let's see which among these functional dependencies will go for second step. So we have x to w, then we have wz to y, then y to x, and we have y to z. Now we can see that for these three functional dependencies, there are only single attributes on left hand side and on right hand side. So we do not have to worry about that. But in second functional dependency, we have two attributes on left hand side. So we will have to check if any of these two attributes are redundant. So how do we check that now? So first we find out the closure for WZ. So we have W, Z, then we have Y, and then with Y we can have X, then we can have Z, and with X we can have W, but with W we already have. Now next we have to find out the closure of W and Z alone, but this time we won't ignore any of the functional dependency, because this time we are not trying to find out if this entire functional dependency is redundant. We are only checking for these two attributes, that any of these two attributes is redundant or not. So now what will we do? We'll have W closure. So for that we have W and we do not have anything else. And for Z again, if we check, we only have Z, we do not have anything else. So now we can conclude that for W and Z, we can, with only W and Z, we cannot find out all the attributes that we could find with WZ together. So this, and nothing among these two attributes is redundant. So now this is the final answer. If we apply the union over here, we get X to W, then we get WZ to Y. Then for this Y, we have X and Z. So this is the final canonical cover or the minimal cover for this set of functional dependencies. Now we can see that this X over here and this W over here were redundant. So instead of this, we can finally move towards the implementation of our relational model with this set of functional dependencies by removing in which we have removed all the redundant attributes or the redundant functional dependencies. Now one more thing that we have to consider over here is that we have solved this for this particular order that we have taken. So now if there is some other order that we consider, say suppose if we move from bottom to upwards, then it might be the case that we get some other functional dependencies as the answer. So that is completely fine. That also will be correct. Now this time when we move from top to bottom, this is the first functional dependency that we have eliminated first. But if we are moving from bottom to up, it might be the case that there is some other functional dependency that gets eliminated first. So in that case, we'll get some other result, but that will also be correct, right? So this was all about the canonical cover. Thank you.